Timing the market in Venezuela, that's the best dating strategy. Well, today we discuss.
Welcome to Venezuela Insider, the only place in Venezuela for expats, digital nomads, entrepreneurs, investors, travelers, and related internationals. For more information, venezuelainsider.com.
There is a saying in investing that you should not time the market, you should spend time on the market. And that goes from, legendary investors like Warren Buffett that says that is not very savvy in order to access to the market just on a particular point in time. And that's when you're going to get rich. Usually you create wealth, I'm talking investing, is that you put time in the market, you dollar cost average your position on any given asset, let's say the S&P 500, could be Bitcoin as well. And you can, instead, regardless of the time of your consistent entry of the market, you're gonna average a position. Eventually, if it's a good asset, eventually it's gonna grow up, and all of the investing that you did is gonna grow on average percentage-wise positively if you spend a lot of time in the market, and you have best statistical odds if you do dollar cost average on a decent asset instead of just trying to enter on any given particular time. Now, that works on dating, just time on the market instead of just trying to time the market on a particular time. Well, the answer is yes. Let me explain why. Because when you spend more time on the market, in this case Venezuela or your Venezuelan network, is you're gonna create, first, you're gonna increase your network. That is the most important strategy here in the country, combined with value and status and so on. And you're gonna get more opportunities in order to meet more people, in order to meet more quality females here in the country. For instance, if you try to implement a dating strategy of just showing up on a weekend or very short of amount of time as a tourist, and I've seen many cases like that in Medellin, Colombia, maybe in Eastern Europe and so on, and you try to, just on a short term, try to make something happen, is not going to work as easily as those other countries, depending also on the quality as well. Here's why. Let's say top 20, 30% of females here in Venezuela, the most beautiful, of course, that I presume that's the ones we want to attract. They are not just working on the streets, taking public transportation, or going to the grocery shopping, anything like that. Because women with high beauty levels have opportunities. So they don't waste their time taking public transportation and going, taking typical arrows. Also in Venezuela, I have to explain, the public transportation is not as great. Most likely you rely on your own car or using ride-sharing services. And of course, that's more expensive than taking the public transportation. And when you're in a certain echelon, if you're a female and you're in a certain echelon of socioeconomics, of course, but your beauty is going to give you access to that particular echelon quite relatively easily. You don't have to go through those frictions of dealing with the public transportation and so on. Also, Venezuela, most of the cities is very hot. We have a summer, we have a summer climate. It's very hot to be just walking around, sweating and so on. Meanwhile, the beautiful women just, when they leave home, they go to their work, if they have any, or visit close friends, close relatives, and when they, take a relatively fun activity, a leisure and a hospitality activity, is already being taken care of by a man. So these particular women are going to be either on their own home, they're going to be with very close friends and family members, or when they are having these activities, are being sponsored by a man. And you are not going to have the opportunity to meet them straight up in person, just hanging out or at any different location. Now, if you want to use dating apps, well, I already explained why it doesn't happen. because the women, relatively pretty women in Venezuela, have opportunities that they don't require to access to a dating app like Tinder. On Tinder, you're gonna find lower end regarding beauty of females. Here's all. Bottom of the barrel, a lot of scams, sex workers, and so on. So you're gonna very low quality. You're gonna find over there. And well, couple of cases you can find something interesting, but I actually don't recommend it. Doesn't give you a good ROI. So how do you get it then? You're gonna get it when you access the network of those particular females. And how do you do it? The first thing is gonna be network. But first, in order to get a good network, you need to have a decent status. Hang out in certain places and also providing value. So your status plus providing value is gonna attract a better network. The better your network, and remember the particular cliche, your network is your net worth, where in Venezuela goes way far. If you have a decent network, that particular network is going to introduce to you the high echelon females regarding beauty and some other intangibles. And afterwards is that you are going to have the opportunity in order to engage in social interactions with those particular females. So if you put more time in the market, you're going to increase more your network because you're going to have more opportunities in order to increase your network. If you have the status and you provide value, afterwards you go to the network, believe me, is going to take care of you, especially if you're an international. And afterwards, they are going to introduce you to the females on the local region of Venezuela that you're visiting. Other thing that you have to take into account, I mentioned this, the pretty ones, the high echelons of the female Venezuelan beauty, spend most of their time at home or on activities with close friends and family. So they use a lot applications, use their phone and use social media and so on. So what you want to use, if you want to attract them digitally, is not going to be through dating apps on that kind of nature. It's also using social media, most likely Instagram. And the way, in order to do so, is improving your social presence on social media, especially Instagram, and creating a particular profile that shows value and status. Lastly, you have to be aware of the perils of choosing a bad network in Venezuela, something that you have to be very careful. Because of course, on your network is your net worth, and also you are close to people that share similar values and so on, but you have to be careful in order to not choosing a bad network, because a bad network is going to introduce you, it's going to get you bad results in many cases, and dating is not going to be one of them. So the difference is that you have to choose a decent network depending on your activities, your perceived status, and so on. And how do you get that? Well, hanging out, decent places, decent activities, so on. For instance, if you're a minimalist, it's not going to work for you because you're going to see them is on the nice places. The better the places that you surround with, that you decide to lodge yourself and eat out and do exercise and so on, is going to increase the quality of the particular network. Also, the particular females are going to hang out over there. And then the network itself, when you provide value to a particular network, it's at the time where you're going to get more access to females, especially the ones on the high-end echelon of female beauty. So in order to sum it up, time on the market, you need time on the market. If you're the guys that just travel for a weekend in order to date or something, that's something I don't recommend. It's going to be a low ROI activity unless you just want to have fun and get to know a particular city and eat out in a particular place. Very good for you. If you increase your time, you're going to be better. Status, afterwards, provide value in order to get a good network, and the network is going to take care of you. That will be the reasons why you want to spend more time. Time in the market is going to be more profitable. You're going to have a better ROI in order to access Venezuelan dating.
Thank you for watching Venezuela Insider. Please like, share, and subscribe. follow us on social media. If you want to work with us, VenezuelaInsider.com. Thanks again and have a nice day.